Cells are the basic units of structure. If function and everything, new cells are produced from cells. Back then was a guy named Book, cut some cord.
Okay, so we just listened to about 7 seconds of what students will listen to as they walk into the classroom. Our typical classroom procedure, students know that they're going to pick up whatever lead-in or do-now that is assigned for the day from the front of the room. In some cases, it's going to be a video, working with a partner, whiteboard activity. In this case, it's listening to a song about the cell theory. I find it's a good way to transition from whatever they've had before, it's math or English, get into the science mindset, but do it in a little bit of a fun way. So after that, we would go over the parts of the cell theory, and we're going to really use that information today to go back in time and look at, all right, what steps happened along the way that led us to these 3 aspects of the cell theory. We're going to do that today with the use of a read aloud, in which students will grab one partner, and I'll explain exactly what I want them to do as I go through this. So for today's activity, I would start off after the do now, hand out the read aloud, the reading, hand out the graphic organizer sheet as well. All right, I would instruct students that we will be partnering up for the day, and that they will take turns reading. They could take turns reading aloud to one another, and I would like them to, really get into the reading. So I would start off, and I'd read the introduction, and I'll take part of it as well, just to demonstrate what we're looking for on the graphic organizer as well. So let's start off. So the study of cells started 330 years ago. 330 years ago. Does that seem in the history of cells that long ago? Well, when were the first cells around? That's be one of the questions I ask. Hopefully, some student answer. Well, cells have been around for 3.6 billion years with the first prokaryotic cells on Earth. Yet, we've only studied them for the last 300 years. So here's a question for you, class. Why do you think we've only been studying for the last 330 years? Hopefully potential answers would be, technology didn't allow for it. Maybe they even mention, who knows? Technology, the size of them didn't allow for us, etc. So let's go back to the reading. With the invention of the microscope and its subsequent improvement, cells became visible, and many new discoveries were made about them. Even today, the study of cells reveals more detail and its secrets, which are, in fact, the secrets of life itself, are revealed with ever-increasing clarity. So, from our little introduction, a few questions that we asked, transition over. So, class, today what I want you to do is take a look at this graphic organizer and the read aloud, and with your partner, fill in the graphic organizer as we go along. Let's start with what I'm looking for. So for every year, I want you to pick, a scientist or scientists that had an impact on the development of cell theory. So let's read the second paragraph down and do a little example of this up on the overhead. Let me slide this up, see if we can get a little better view. So, in 1665, we had English scientist and microscopist Robert Hooke described a honeycomb-like network of cells in a cork slice using primitive compound microscope. Robert Hooke used the term cells to describe units in plant tissue. Thick cell walls could be observed. Of course, he only saw cell walls because cork are dead and without protoplasm. He drew the cells he saw and coined the word cell. The word cell is derived from the Latin word cellula, which means small compartment. Hooke published his findings in his famous work, Micrographia. So, after the reading, after that paragraph, let's take a look. What year did we just see here? All right, 1665. So we have the year 1665. And what scientist are we looking at? All right, Robert Hooke. So 1665, Robert Hooke. All right, class. What did Robert Hooke do? What major impact is he having on science right now? Okay, well, he coined the term cell. All right, so but why did he coin the term cell? What was he seeing? Okay, well, let's add, he observed cork cells. All right, so we got two good bullets there right now. We have the fact that he coined the term cell after observing cork cells under a microscope. Is there a drawing there? And as a matter of fact, there is. Why don't you draw what he saw? So we can draw, all right, looks, very box-like structures. All right, hence we know these are plant cells. All right, with not much detail in there. I know, and why is he only seeing the cell walls here? All right, hopefully then they would answer, the lack of protoplasm as seen in the reading. All right. Okay. So after we demonstrate some of these, I would like you to now go through with the partner. All right. Continue the reading. There might be more you have to add for the year 1665. You can just add another year, 1665, or, leave more space in, and the additional space, you can just add another scientist or more facts that you need. Remember, you can do drawings, you can write out the information, words that you don't know as well. Use the reading to help you out. All right, if we look back at this first paragraph, of course he only saw cells because cork cells are dead and without protoplasm. Have we really looked at that word protoplasm yet? Well, okay, maybe we haven't. Let's see. He drew the cells he saw and coined the term cell. All right, so between those two sentences, they are dead when without protoplasm, and he saw hollow cells. Okay, protoplasm must be what's inside of that cell. So use the reading, to help guide you with any vocabulary you're unsure of. And take turns reading, filling in your graphic organizers. And that would be how I introduce this first part of the lesson.